and actually have the one that you had given to be taken away. And so what he goes over is that there was some of those of Israel that they never did believe. Instead, they always sought their own righteousness. They always sought another way besides what God had for them. And because of that, what they ended up using the illustration here of the tree, and that they were cut off from the root and from the tree itself. And them being cut off was our gain, because by them being of the bloodline lineage, they had the promises that were passed on from generation to generation. Yes? But because they would not believe those promises, yeah, they were cut off, which then means that those promises then, if you look at it in the sense of a tree again, if you cut off one branch, you can graft in a new. Okay? And literally, what he goes over here is that they were cut off, and that we were able to be grafted in. But do not believe that that happened, one, just in vain, meaning that in emptiness, that like, okay, they were just cut off, there's no purpose behind it. He actually goes on further to explain that his desire, if anybody is short and if anybody is cut off in the present moment, that by us being in and a part of and finding life from the roots of just Jesus Christ. Yes? And if that's where we are at, then that we provoke into the desire for them to believe. So even those that were cut off were not meant to stay cut off. But the hope and the desires that at some point in time they return and believe themselves and be grafted in. Yes? And so, really understanding that even in those things, it sounds like God just got them. Well, no, he wanted them delivered. Like every single movement that God makes is always for that salvation and deliverance. Yes? Now, it's not always received. Yes? And then before this, I believe this was in chapter 10. I believe it is. And it says very, very clearly. Now, God, there's just the fact of the matter is that some of them God just created for this purpose, and it is destruction. And then he goes on to say, you know what? And for us, again, we should look at that and marvel at the wonderful love and grace of God that he's had on us and thank him, because we should be in the same place. But that's not what he gave us. Instead, he gave us his son to believe on. Yes? And so in every aspect, guys, it's for to increase faith and the hopes that some would be saved. Yes? And then he says, if you want to question him, yes, you can, but at the same time, just think about it this way, that, what pot was created that ever turned around to the potter and said, hey, why did you make me like this? He said, it's not for us to question the Creator. He is the Creator. What we do need to believe and trust in, Lord, is that he works all things to good that those who love him, and that he's always out for salvation and deliverance of others. Yes? And the rest of it, we leave it in his hands, and we just keep on loving and pushing forward. And we let God deal with everything else. He's the judge, he's the man, he's God. Yeah? And so we leave all those things in his ballpark. Good? So now we kick back in, guys. In the last part of 11, there he just goes over the riches of God's wisdom and knowledge, that he is way bigger than us, and that his judgments are unsearchable in our minds, and that we have never given him counsel. Yeah? And we've never been able to repay him for anything. So to him, is all glory and all honor forever and ever. Amen. So it brings us into chapter 12. It says, so I beseech you therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and acceptable and perfect will of God. For I say to the grace given to me, and everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but instead to think soberly. I find this to be precious. I exhort everyone to not think of himself more highly than he ought to, and instead think soberly. Do I find that funny? Why? Because if you think yourself to be higher and better than somebody else, you must be drunk. You must be under some sort of influence if you think yourself to be better than anybody else. To be a less of a sinner, to be in any way better or smarter. And then, because if you really do, then why so much you believe is that you're better and smarter than God? Because God already said that you're not. So if you're going to deny him of that, and you're going to say, oh no, I am, then you're saying that he's not smart. And he's not knowledgeable. Does that make sense? And so basically, like what Paul encourages here, so you better get your head right. Yeah? Get sobered up. Now there's a side to it, guys, that soberness that there is, sometimes we walk along this life and all of a sudden, we kind of have our mindset in one way. And all of a sudden there's kind of like that moment where it's like, oh wow, wait a minute. Yes, no? You know what I'm talking about? It's like that moment of like reality kind of comes crushing in. And it's what they call it a sobering feeling.
Like that 10,000 times a day that happens.
Yeah. So guys, the alcohol or whatever else that get out so much, that soberly, like just really coming to the realization, no, you know what, we're not better than anybody. Yeah? And it's only by the grace of God that we've been saved. It's only by his mercies. Yes? Yeah? And what does that mean that they need? His mercy and his grace. How do they receive such things? Okay, and by hearing, what though? By hearing the gospel, right? It's by hearing the works of God, what he's done through his son. Because outside of him, there is no mercy. So if Christ hasn't taken away our sins, then we still get what we deserve. So there's no mercy. Yeah? There is no unmerited, unconditional favor of God if Christ does not take out of the way our sin. Take our sin out of the way. Right? Otherwise, there's no unmerited, unconditional favor. Yeah? Because then we still have to earn it. Right? Which is everything that he addresses here before about those that are religious to just that they never see. Yeah? Therefore, they have a great zeal for God, but then they would never reach him. They worked diligently for him, but they never found him. Because where they always looked was within themselves and never just in him. They never just looked over him. Okay? So I gotta ask the question. He says here that you present your body as a living sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is the reasonable service. So what do you think that means? Oh God, I'll open it up. Barely, but maybe I shouldn't open it up this way. So broad. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as living sacrifice, holy, acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service.
Well, you probably do a better job if you don't kill yourself.
What's that?
A living sacrifice.
A living sacrifice? Now, see, Christ was a living sacrifice. Yes? I mean, in all ways, he was. In the truest sense of the meaning. Now, the scripture is very, very clear over and over and over again that God does not desire our holy sacrifice in that of ourselves. But because he's provided one that he cared about. That God. That was the point. Yes? And yet at the same time here it says that you should present yourself as such. So my question was, very, very broad, open-ended. You can go a million different ways. What does it mean? Because it probably doesn't mean exactly what we think it means. Okay? Montana actually did it first. I thought we were reading here on something people are saying, like trying to let them know. Go ahead, Lon.
Well, he says the living sacrifice only acceptable to God. There's only one way that we're that, and that's by faith in the work that Christ has done for us. And if that ain't the way it is, we can't present ourselves in.
Yeah, except for just nasty, disgusting, what do you say, the dung, things like that. That's the only way that you present yourself, right? If it wasn't for Christ. Right? So that's one.
Well, you have to die to yourself to be able to present yourself as a living sacrifice.
Okay? So you have to believe that. So that's not first, you have to come to the reality of what Christ has done. And then what Tony's going to is then you'll have to actually live it that way, right? Seeing yourself as dead. Not that, you have to reckon yourself dead daily, right? To actually be able to live that out in this world. Yes? Jim?
The nature of the old man.
Okay? Okay? And so you said there though that, so we live it again. Yeah? And you notice how it keeps on coming back to that, right? There's what he has done, and then what keeps on coming back to is then living what he has done. Yeah? Now, if this is a living sacrifice, then what is that? Okay, in terms of an actual sacrifice, what happens? You die, right? You take it, and you kill it. It's done one time, and that one's done. Yes? Now here, it's not presented in that same way. It's ever living. Yes? The sacrifice, and maybe that's what you guys are talking about, is the sacrifice, I'm not going to live for myself. Right? Right. Okay? Anthony?
God had purpose.
Okay, so what does the tool do? You really want to know what it does? Whatever you make it do. Yes, it lays there. And if you pick it up and do something with it, then it does whatever it is. Yes? It's not, the tool doesn't decide where it's going to be used and how and when. The tool's just there. Yes? And it's just waiting. Right? And what was that little show the kids used to always watch? Bob the Builder? Bob the Builder, was that the one? And he had this little tool belt and little tools. And all the tools always wanted to do what? They always wanted to go to work. They always wanted to be used. Yeah? Right? In every one of the episodes, every single one of the tools always just wanted to be used. They were always asking to be used. Yes? Then present yourself. So when you present something, you bring it in front of you. Yeah? And you show it. Oh, yeah, all right, Lord, here am I, who just by your mercy, by the mercies of God. Yes? The Lord, only because you have not given me what I deserve. Am I able to even have this conversation with you? Yeah? And so, Lord, here I am. And this nasty body that's just corrupt and messes up in every which way, never does anything wrong, never does anything right. Right? Like, all I do is ever just mess up. And Lord, here I am. For you to use me. And Lord, you use me wholly, completely. Now, not because I'm complete, but because Christ is complete and he abides in me, could you use me? And Lord, I'm going to live it this way. Lord, I am complete because I'm ready to be used. And I've heard people, well, if I get more of this, then I can do this. And if I got here, then I could. No, it has nothing to do with what you have in that sense. No, you're just a tool. Yeah? If you're a Phillips head screwdriver versus a flathead screwdriver, then yes, there's going to be times where the Phillips is going to need to be used, not the flathead. That doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with one or the other. They're both beautiful tools and needed at their times. And both of them just need to be ready to be used whenever that time comes. Right? Holy, acceptable to God. Present yourself as though you are acceptable to God. How would you be acceptable to God? Always the thing that where it comes back to, which we've been talking about for months and months and months, is to be confident in God. Yes? Can you yourself be holy? Can you yourself be acceptable? Can you yourself be really any kind of sacrifice that's worthy of victory? No. But through him who loved us and has had mercy on us and died for us and raised for us, could we then sacrifice and be a living sacrifice that's worthy? Could we then present ourselves as holy to the living God? Could we then present ourselves as acceptable to God? You notice that these things, God's already declared that they are that way if you're in His Son. What Paul's presenting here is for you to believe that it is that way before God. You see the difference? And all the way throughout Romans right here, he's been hitting, showing that you are these things before God because of the working of Him, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yes? That all your faults and failures, just like all of those of old, everybody's got them, so get over it. God's the creator. He's the molder. Let Him do His part. And all we need to do is just believe Him. Yes? Be confident in Him and His word. Present yourself. And then he goes on and he says, because by the way, this would just be a reasonable service. Yeah? It's just what would make sense. I mean, think about all the gifts that He's giving. No, we're coming to that time of year. And think about all the gifts that God's given you. Just see the natural gifts. We talked about that for a couple of weeks. Yeah? But what about spiritual gifts that He's given? He goes on to say, and do not be conformed to this world, but instead be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Don't become conformed. Don't become just doing it the way the world does it. Excuse me. Well, he says that have your mind changed. That's what he says. Instead of being conformed to this world, what is the world about? Itself. What does the world seek after? Whatever can make self stronger and gain for self, that one would think stronger. Right? You know, guys, you know, and for depending on, like, I guess, kind of like our age and maturity and the things that we're supposed to, probably depends on what things the world is trying to conform you to. Right? There's times where the world tries to conform you maybe to just laziness. Right? And now at the same time, I'm telling you a tool doesn't run out and just do things on its own. It's got to be taken by the worker or the crafter. Yeah? And it's got to be used. Does that make sense? But, you know, if the tool's not in the tool belt, if it's not near the one who uses the tools, then can it be used? No. And then there's another thing with this, guys. It isn't that person, like, it's not his job to go out and seek out the tools. The tools should be where they were. When they were bought and purchased and they were placed, they should be there. Yeah? You shouldn't have to spend hours and hours and hours and days looking for the tools. Any of you that's ever, like, let somebody else move your tools around, you know what I'm talking about? You're like, dang, it was a 2-minute job. It took 2 days to find the tool. Yeah? And then usually by then, the job don't even matter no more. It's already been lost, and it's already been, you know. Yeah, it is sometimes, yeah. Well, you know, think about it from God's perspective. He bought you. He placed you into the body. For you to be used according to His purpose. Oh, no, I'm going to go over here. Oh, no, the world says that this is more important. Oh, wait a minute, the world says that this is valuable. Oh, wait a minute, there's this. Oh, wait a minute, there's that. I've got to I got to prioritize things. And then, what religion says is, oh, well, family first. That's not what God says. God says God first. Yeah? And if you lead in that, you will love your family. You'll be there for your family. Just be leading into God. The peace first. Yeah? And, the world says work first. So what God says God first. And God says, listen, if you live me first, you will be the greatest worker because you'll always be working for me. You see that? Like every single one of the things the world tries to say to put first, God says, no, put me first and I'll help you and take care of those things. I'll use you in those areas as my tool. Does that make sense? But you present yourself unto me. And just love that. Just have confidence that I'm going to use you. You know? Yeah? Instead, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then have your mind changed. No, it ain't about those things. It ain't about you. It's about Him. Yeah? And guys, something that gets renewed, what does that mean? Okay, I didn't know if you meant crazy. You know me too well. To make fun of me, kid. Yeah. No, I mean, but it's something that is ongoing, guys, too. Okay? And so what that is, back up. It goes on, guys. There are all these things that kind of get piled up on us, right? And because of those things, oftentimes in our flesh, we do start to become conformed to this world. And so what we have to have is that renewing of the mind. Yes? Right? You know, and even if you go back to tools again, you know, guys, you know, tools are, you know, you're supposed to actually clean them, take care of them. You know, if it's something that is like cutting edge, you're supposed to sharpen it. If it is something that is, you know what I mean, like you're supposed to, you know, if you use it in grease, you're supposed to clean off that grease. You're not supposed to, like, I say supposed to, you can tell that I don't necessarily agree with myself all the time, but that's what's supposed to happen with all of it. Like, it's supposed to be maintained, right? And God wants that for us. We're His tools. Yeah? So sometimes we need to be greased, and sometimes we need some of the grease wiped off, and sometimes we need to be sharpened, and sometimes we need to be blunted, and sometimes we need to be dull. Like, there's all kinds of different, and there's a time and place for all of those things, and guess who's got all of that? God. And in time, and in His time, it's not our time, it's His. Yeah, He's the crafter, not us. We're just the tools. Yes? And guys, all of this is just gifts that He's given us, that He's poured out on us. And He says, if you live it this way, then you will prove, that you may prove, what is good and acceptable and the perfect will of God. What is the will of God? That all might be saved. And so if we're just ready, He'll use us. Yeah? If we're confident, He'll get the mercies of God. He'll put us to use. When, where, how, and how much, that's all up to Him. But we'll be ready for it. Trust me, like, He'll grab a hold of you and He'll start using it. Yeah? When all of a sudden, maybe you've been too dull and you need a little bit of sharpness, all of a sudden there'll be an assignment that'll bring that sharpness thing right there. Yeah? And all of a sudden they'll be, wait a minute, you know what? No, I need to bite into this tree. Yeah? I don't know, I started getting a little soft. Yeah? I need to chew into this limb so it can get grafted on. Yeah? Man, this limb maybe needs some screws in it. Maybe it's lost its own screws and its own holes. Alright. He says, for I say to the grace that was given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself or how to do the honest things, but think soberly as God has dealt to each one of us a measure of faith, a measure of reality. For as we have many members, and we are all in one body. So I've been bringing this in more and more and more. Guys, don't we are one body, but all members do not have the same function. Yes? Just like all tools do not have the same function. So we, although being many, yes, are one body in Christ. Yeah? And if you never have work on anything, you know there's never just one tool that does it all. You got to have a tool belt if you really want to get the job done and get it done right. That doesn't mean that you might not be able to get to a point that you can walk away, but it's never done right unless you got it on. Yeah? Those love you. I visited 3 or 4 times every time we do new projects. I never seem to get everything. But you got to pay it all. So if it takes those trips, that's what you got to do, right? See, with God, He's got it all right there, but sometimes we have to make, and sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, those trips have to be put in order for us to be prepared for that job. For as many members in one body, all have the same function, so we being many are still yet one body, and each individually members of one another. Having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Having gifts, plural. Each one of them differing. And that is according to the grace that God gave to us. So, let us use them. Yeah? Man, if you're great at proclaiming the gospel, then proclaim it. And if you're not good at proclaiming it, then proclaim it to the point that you're not good at it. Do you understand? You're given the gift, the measure of it might be different. Yeah. He goes on and says, man, teaching. They teach. Christ makes it very clear that we're all teachers. Now, different ones, different measures of that gift. And whatever measure you've been given, use it. Yeah? Exhort, then exhort. Give, do it with liberty. Lead with diligence. Those who are gifted with showing mercy, then do it with cheerfulness. And what's sweet is, guys, in each one of those things where he says that if you're given with this, then do it to this. The reason why he says that, guys, is I always think he's trying to keep you from it. By you looking at yourself and considering anything else, and and he uses everything, guys, self, anger, jealousies, envies, so forth and so on. Like he'll try to use any kind of angle Satan will to try to keep that from taking place. He'll try to keep teachers from teaching. He'll try to get ministers to stop ministering. He'll try to get those who are preaching to stop preaching. He'll try to get those who are exhorting to stop exhorting. And those who are giving, what he'll try to do is he doesn't try to get you to stop giving. He tries to get you to stop giving with liberty, with joy. He tries to get those who are showing mercy not to necessarily stop showing mercy, but instead of doing it with cheerfulness, doing it begrudgingly. He tries to change your mindset. It's being conformed to this world. You get that? And that's why, man, we know what we do, man. We got to believe Him. Hear His word, man. Submit to those and just love. And again, that word submit, what does it really mean? Surrender, give over to. Yes? It doesn't mean, oh, I got to go out and no. It doesn't mean, it just means that you present yourself as that tool, man. Okay, God, here I am. Use me. And Lord, I just pray, man, Lord, use me. Boy, guys, just in all things that God has given us, man, He's given us so much. There's a scripture that says, count your blessings. Yeah? And I've stated this for a few weeks here, guys. So often, we look at, we made measure off of is us versus something else or us versus someone else. You need to stop looking at that. What you need to look at is what do you really deserve from God? And then what does God give you? That should be your measuring stick. Not what somebody else, guys, each one of them, whatever the measure, and guys, and because it even happens in really things, it really does. King Solomon, guys, he rolled out all of it. Yeah? More than likely, maybe, who knows? God is God. But I doubt there'll be another one quite like Solomon who controls so much in that sense. Yeah? But you could look at that and say, oh, well, God doesn't love me as much as He loves Solomon. What are you talking about? Where should Solomon have been? Based on his sins, he should have been in hell. Where should we be based on our sins? In hell. But did God give Solomon that? Did God give you that? So are you just as rich as Solomon then? Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Instead of weighing and measuring it based on the things of this world, be conformed to the way the world looks at things, measures and weighs, and lets us be transformed in the renewing of our mind and look at it the way that God looks at it. Yes? Then, guys, what that does, it puts us in a thankful heart of joy. Yeah? And we're ready to serve. We're ready to serve Him. Yes? And if we're presenting ourselves, guys, then we'll be here. We'll be here at the times that God's given us for that purpose. Yeah? We'll be under His Word, guys, and then we'll be bringing that world over. And it's funny because, like, if you really are, and that's really where your mindset is and your heart is at, then you know what? All the other things can be there. And they can be there with joy. Yeah? And so, guys, I just want this season to be joyful for us, right? I want us to consider this week, especially coming into Christmas and next week. Well, I wanted to get through this because the next part goes over a lot more gifts. But, yeah. So I have another one too, guys, on the gifts that God's given us and how we utilize them. More than what we talked about today. And so next week is Pray in the Spirit theme, okay? I don't know if we should just continue on this and then come into the next one, maybe on the New Year. Decide to just pray that God kind of leads that. Right? Because both of them are relatively good. Right? So I love you guys, man. Let our heart just be filled with love and joy over this season. Yes? And boy, guys, count our blessings. Yes? And remember the grace and the mercies that God has poured out. And just be thankful for them and let God deal with the rest. Yeah? Yes? Guys, if you ain't got nothing good to say, what's good? God's good. Yeah? Amen? And guys, just love one another. And do it with joy. Because God has. He did it with joy. You should have known. He knows you better than you know. Whatever you think the other person did, trust him. He knows that and a bunch more. He shouldn't. He shouldn't have loved, but he shouldn't have loved you, but he did. So just let it go. Love him. Yeah? Let's be about him, guys. It's for others. Yeah? Spend every day just enjoy what God has given you. Yeah? I love you guys. Be classy. All right.